So a couple of months ago, one of my son's friends had forwarded him a TikTok video, a series of TikTok videos that proceeded to talk about Abraham Lincoln, one of the best presidents that America has ever had, that he was a homosexual because of how he had written to a couple people. And there was only one book ever written about that topic, and it was written by a guy who was an LGBTQ activist and also homosexual. So it was very like a self-fulfilling type prophecy and very slanted towards wanting to prove someone that couldn't defend themselves, who was dead, who was murdered, killed, assassinated as one of our American presidents, and can't defend himself. And I don't like things like that. So I went to Washington, D.C. recently and ended up picking up some of all of Abraham Lincoln's speeches and writings because I didn't feel it was fair. First off, Abraham Lincoln suffered immensely from depression. I've also had struggles in my lifetime where I've gone through really tough situations and suffered emotionally for sure. And writing was an outlet. And how I wrote to people and how I expressed my emotions and feelings, writing in the end of letters, love always and forever, could be perceived as weird to some people, but I mean that because of Jesus. Okay, when I write always and forever, I mean because of Jesus. So when I write that, I'm not being romantic to a man, or I'll write it to men, to women, doesn't matter to me. It's not a romantic writing. I don't think sincerely, I don't even know, like sincerely, I understand what the word means, but like, how do you have to say that you're being sincere in a letter? Like, that's weird to me. But anyway, no judgment on this sincerely. I'm just saying, not for me. What I wanted to do was read a letter. I went to Schuyler Colfax Middle School in Wayne, New Jersey. So I wanted to read a letter, the first letter in this book, which are letters and speeches from Abraham Lincoln. I bought the entire collection. And it's a letter to Schuyler Colfax, who was my middle school was actually named after, which I never knew who he was, actually. To the Honorary Schuyler Colfax, Springfield, Illinois, July 6th, 1859. My dear sir, I must regret not seeing you while you were here among us, before learning that you were to be at Jacksonville on the 4th. I had given my word to be at another place. Besides a strong desire to make your personal acquaintance, I was anxious to speak with you on politics, a little more fully than I can do in a letter. My main object in such conversation would be to hedge against divisions in the Republican ranks generally, and particularly for the contest of 1860. The point of danger is a temptation in different localities to platform for something which will be popular just there, but which, nevertheless, will be a firebrand elsewhere, and especially in a national convention. As instances, the movement against foreigners in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, to make obedience to the fugitive slave law punishable as a crime, in Ohio, to repeal the fugitive slave law, and squatter sovereignty in Kansas. In these things, there is explosive matter enough to blow up half a dozen national conventions. If it gets into them, and what gets very rife outside of conventions is very likely to find its way into them. What is desirable, if possible, is that in every local convocation of Republicans, a point should be to avoid everything that will distract Republicans elsewhere. Massachusetts Republicans should have looked beyond their noses, and then they could not have failed to see the tilting against foreigners would ruin us in the whole Northwest. New Hampshire and Ohio should forbear tilting against the fugitive slave law in such way as utterly overwhelm us in Illinois with the charge of enmity to the Constitution itself. Kansas, in her confidence that she can be saved to freedom on squatter sovereignty, ought not to forget that to prevent the spread and nationalization of slavery is a national concern and must be attended to by the nation. In a word, In every locality, we should look beyond our noses and at least say nothing on points where it is probable we shall disagree. I write this for your eye only, hoping, however, that if you see danger as I think I do, you will do what you can to avert it. Could not suggestions be made to the leading men in the state and congressional conventions, and so avoid to some extent at least these apples of discord? Yours very truly, Abraham Lincoln. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Jesus is Lord.